10 years ago, the footballing world was changed forever when arguably the greatest player of his generation, Goran Pavlov, left English Premier League newcomers Bourne Town in the prime of his career to try his luck in the MLS with LAFC. It was the first time one of football's true global superstars had made the jump to the US so early in his career, and it immediately raised the profile of the game formerly referred to as soccer nationwide. Fans flocked to support their local teams from coast to coast, and demand became so high that smaller regional clubs began to form to meet demand, eventually forming their own regional leagues. Fans assumed that upon Pavlov's retirement as a player, he would assume coaching duties at the Black and Gold and continue to build his legacy as the greatest sportsman in North American history. But ever the forward thinker, Pavlov had dreams bigger than his own personal ambitions and began campaigning for a top-to-bottom restructuring of football in America, moving away from the traditional American sports model of drafts, salary caps, designated players and franchises, and towards a more traditional European model to allow US teams, both at club and international level, to begin competing on a global scale, rather than, just calling themselves world champions for winning the domestic league. But Pavlov's dream came at a price, and the negotiations with the established MLS ownership structure were long and tense, with many fearing Pavlov was seeking only to increase his own personal fame and wealth at the expense of what was now the most popular sport in America. Just as it seemed the deal was going to collapse forever, Pavlov pulled off one last legend-making maneuver, agreeing never to seek to manage or own a team at any level of the new American football pyramid. Pavlov's sacrifice was enough to convince the power brokers that he had the best interests of the game at heart, and the deal was done. Football in the USA was restructured into a 10-tier footballing pyramid with promotion and relegation throughout, regionalised leagues at the lower levels, and a transfer system even a handsome YouTuber of questionable mathematical ability could understand. With the restructuring complete and Pavlov effectively banned from owning or managing a team of his own, many assumed he'd head back to his native Bosnia and enjoy his retirement. But he had one last trick up his sleeve. At the 11th hour, just as team registrations were being finalised for the new league, it was announced that Pavlov's former club, Bourne Town, fresh off the back of their emergence as a European superpower with recent Premier League and Champions League wins under their belt, were to form their own North American affiliate club, Bourne Football Club USA, with Pavlov himself set to act as chairman of the new club, with Bourne Town retaining full ownership of the new entity and their recently retired manager Kevin Chapman set to take over as manager. Bourne had been expected to take a place in the new US Premier League, but at the last moment details emerged of a counter-plot within the United States Football Association to punish Pavlov for finding a loophole in their previous ruling to form his own club, declaring that all clubs formed after the announcement of the new league structure must start from Tier 10 and work their way up the pyramid. With no interest in starting from the bottom once again, Bourne Town immediately withdrew their funding from the new club, agreeing to retain ownership in name only as a favour to their former player. With Pavlov himself having spent almost his entire fortune building the new Nook, Bourne's new stadium in the town of Bourne, Massachusetts on the edge of Cape Cod, the new team now found themselves in the 10th tier of the US football pyramid, with no money, no facilities, a local population of less than 20,000, with nothing but a penniless Bosnian and his handsome former manager to lead them to glory. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Born in the USA. Hello folks and welcome to part 1 of Born in the USA. I'm Kev and we are going to get started with a new series in just a second, but we have new series housekeeping that we need to do before we jump into that. So housekeeping number 1, if you are excited for the new series and you want to see episode 2 today, make sure you leave a thumbs up on the video. It massively helps the algorithm. And, I like to be liked. We all like to be liked. If we can get to 3,000 likes by 7 p.m. today, I'll release episode 2 before bed this evening. I think that's pretty reasonable. Also, because it's the start of a new series, whenever I start a new series, I always give away a copy of Football Manager. So as usual, there will be a tweet on my Twitter at LOLLUJO announcing the start of the new series. All you need to do to enter is retweet that tweet. I'll link to it down in the description below so you know which one to retweet. And I'll randomly select somebody who retweets that and I'll give them a copy of FM21. And then lastly, we're going to be doing shirts for this series in the near future. So I figured, you know what? Episode 1, let's really kick the algorithm off up and running here on YouTube, get it very excited for the new thing. So we're going to get some comments going as well. We did it with the Arsenal shirts on Non-League to Legend last week. We'll do it with the Bourne shirts here. And remember, these are going to be a few months away. They're not even fully designed yet for physical shirts, but I will select somebody from the comments to this video. It doesn't matter what you write in the comments. You can just write, I want a Bourne shirt, or I'm excited for the new series, or I don't know, tell me your shoe size. It doesn't really matter. Just let me know down in the comments that you're excited and you want to enter, and I'll just randomly pick one person who comments on this video, and when the Bourne shirts are made in a few months' time, I'll send you one. Easy peasy. Should we get on with the video now? Should we actually get started with the new series? I think I've probably held you up long enough. Let's get on with the video. And here we are in the boardroom, the Bourne Football Club USA boardroom. That's right, we are the new manager of Bourne Football Club USA, the feeder club of Bourne Town, who are in the Premier League in England. Of course they are. That's where we left them last year. You can see the sexy new home shirt behind us there, designed by Request a Kit, as always. And it's just awesome. You can see all of these. I'll show you all of the kits in a second when we have a look at the club itself. Also want to say a big thank you to FM Digi and Kyle Mollix, who were massively involved in developing the custom database for this one. I am going to give you access to that eventually, just not quite yet. I've not got it all packaged together ready for you to download, but watch this space. Probably within the week, I'll have the database ready for you to play along as well. Also, Gunner Designs for doing the custom Bourne logo as well. And if there's anyone else who helped me do this and I've not thanked you, I apologise. Everyone who's been involved in the testing, it's all fun. It's all awesome. It is much appreciated. And this is the club. So I'm not on a salary, I've just noticed. Bourne have today confirmed the appointment of Kevin Chapman as the club's new manager. Eyebrows have been raised in the footballing. I'm 37 again. I love the start of a new series because I get an age reduction. Month-to-month deal on no money. I lack the reputation of a promotion specialist. It's like they've not seen any of my other series this year. So this is Goran Pavlov, club chairman, Bourne legend, club chairman. I'd like to formally welcome you to Bourne. To get you acquainted with your new surroundings, you'll receive our introductory welcome pack. So this is Bourne. We have a half-star reputation, a media prediction of a 22nd place finish this season. We are in the new Nook, a 3,000 capacity stadium in Bourne, Massachusetts. I think we are one of the few teams in this league who actually have a stadium. There are going to be many stadiums growing over the next few years as all these newly created clubs set up their new homes. They'll be all right. They'll be playing at shared grounds between now and then. But the new Nook is really all we have got. In addition to that, we're only on poor training facilities, poor youth facilities, and limited youth recruitment. I wasn't kidding in the intro when I said Goran Pavlov spent all his money on a tiny ground and Bourne Town have withdrawn their funding. This is going to be the most difficult challenge I have in FM21. I know there's been a few people who said FM21 might be a little bit easy with some of the quick progress we've made in some of the other saves. As you can see, a media prediction of 22nd. We are the worst team in the league on reputation. We have the worst facilities in the league. This is going to be a tough one. So the plan for this episode is to show you around the new club, let you meet the team, get an idea of exactly what we're working with. Then episode 2, which should hopefully be later on this evening, we'll show you the transfers that we're going to do to get us ready for the start of this first season. Because we are, if my tests have been correct, on quite a small squad. Actually, it's not a terribly small squad. It's still a pretty small squad. Let's have a look at who our best players might be. If we go by current ability, we've got the usual thing when you do a brand new club, you get a couple of players who are fantastic. Lots of players who look like they've got potential, but yeah, not many that are completely ready for the first team. And because we are an amateur club, there's your confirmation, we are an amateur club. All of these players could just leave at any time, so don't get too attached to any of them at this stage. It looks like our star men initially are Leon Kaka Boris. As with the home series, I've been using Zealand's face pack on this one, so we should get to know everybody's lovely faces. So Leon Kaka Boris is an attacking midfielder who can also play out on either wing. He's got 5-star current ability, not currently wanted by anybody, and only showing as a fringe player on his contract, which seems madness as he's apparently the best player at the club. And Gavin Panico, what a name for a defender, Panico. I want to keep him forever. He's a 25-year-old 5-star current ability left back who is wanted by a few clubs. It's going to take me a little while to work out what level those clubs might be at because we have a full 10-tier American football pyramid. So I don't know if these are other teams at our level or if they're teams from higher up. I guess we could just have a little... here you go. So New Hampshire Bobcats are in the Eastern League, which is our league. So I'd like to think he's not going to go to the New Hampshire Bobcats. but who knows? Who knows where these players might end up? But that's the players as it stands. I mean, if we have a look positionally, if we go to the team report maybe and get an idea of what we're going to need to do to get ourselves ready for a new season. If we look at current ability, positional depth, we only have one poor goalkeeper. Fantastic. We've got a great left back, 3 decent centre backs, a great right back. So defensively, we're all right for a starting set, but don't really have much in the way of depth in these areas. I'm probably not going to be using anything fancy like wing backs or defensive midfielders in the 10th tier. Central midfield, we've got a couple of players who can play there. Very little out wide in midfield, but further forward on the wings, we've got some decent options. And then we've got a great attacking midfielder and a great striker. So that, just based on looking at this, is leaning me towards a 4-2-3-1 straight away. Because we've got players who can make it work, whether I want to be that extravagant at this level or just do a good old 4-4-2, 4-2-4, kind of get you out of the lower leagues kind of system. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone from what I've been used to on FM21 so far. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do if we just stick this. I want a 4-2-4. Do they not have a 4-2-4 on here? Why would there not be a 4-2-4 that I can just pick and see? I suspected it would be him. So the guy who can play anywhere, who's the good central attacking midfielder and the good winger, it's Kaka Boris in all areas. So although that's making us lean towards the 4-2-3-1, he can't play in all 3 roles. So we might end up doing something like this with him on one of the wings and then sign another striker to go up front with Prince Fletcher. What a name. Prince Fletcher as one striker and Carlos Sandoval as a 16-year-old with 5-star potential as another option up front for us. So some decent prospects. Have we got a youth team? I don't know if we have. We have got a youth team. Under 23s, we've got quite a lot of. Quite a lot with quite decent potential. Under 18s, we don't have an under 18 team. So presumably all of the good under 18s are in the under 23 team, like Eduardo Balderas, who is, he's in the under 23 side. He's a 15-year-old striker with 5-star potential. So we've got some decent options player-wise knocking around the club. If we're looking at expectations for the season, Goran is looking for us to, by the end of this season, finish in the top half, be competitive in the USA FA Vars, and then next season looking for us to win promotion out of this league. So we've got a season to figure things out. The club culture is just to strive to make progress on and off the pitch. So nothing specific on the club culture yet. We'll grow that as we go. We don't really have a proper 5-year plan either. It's just get yourself settled in this year. Don't do anything too rubbish. Don't get relegated. And next year is going to be the season we really push on. Financially, we have nothing. We've got a balance of £2,000. I know people are going to say, Kev, switch it to dollars. You're in America. I'm not going to do that because you have to swap it back every time between this save and the home save of them both running at the same time. And you can guarantee I'll just keep getting it wrong. So I'm in England. We'll do it in pounds. We didn't switch to the euro when we were in Greece last year for Apollon. So I think we're fine leaving it in pounds. Projection-wise, things look okay. If we have a look at what we've got in the way of facilities, there's the 3 kits. Like I say, those 3 kits will all be available to purchase at some point. It's going to be a little while yet, though. So don't hold your breath. But at some point, they'll all be available. Watch this space. That could be what you comment on today's video to feed the algorithm. You could let me know which one of those shirts you'd want to win. And then when I pick the winner, I can make sure that I send you the one of the 3 that you really, really want. If we look at the general information for the club, you can see there's your confirmation of a media prediction of 22nd. We'll look at the pre-season preview in a second. We have 62 season ticket holders. And facilities-wise, the new Nook is a 3,000 all-seater stadium in Bourne. That's Bourne, Massachusetts. We do own the stadium, but that's the only asset we've got to our name. All our other facilities are complete trash. This is something we're going to have to work on over the coming years. But we do have an affiliate club. We are officially affiliated with Bourne Football Club, who are in the Premier League in England. So hopefully, as time goes on and we work our way up these leagues, which is going to take a while, but eventually we'll hopefully hit the CONCACAF Champions League and via that, the Club World Cup. I would love a season-ending showdown with Bourne Town in the Club World Cup, but it does rely on Bourne Town not being rubbish. They do have a few familiar faces in their squad to try and avoid being rubbish, though. As you can see, we have recreated last season's Bourne team. So they're all there. I mean, there's an outside chance that a 27-year-old Mitar Sernajaki in 10 years' time could come and play in the US 5th tier and come and play for Bourne USA, which would be absolutely beautiful if he ended up doing it. We've even got last year's kits on there too, look. So I guess that's I don't know how this is going to develop long term. All the testing we've done, it doesn't really have much of an impact. I don't expect it to have a huge impact other than I guess we'll get to a point eventually where they'll start sending players to us for loan, which will be quite cool, but I think we're a long way from that now. And then staff-wise, we're not doing too bad. We've got a decent quality of staff compared to everything else that's going on in this league, which is a nice starting point. Let's have a look how the rest of the league sets up. So these are our divisional rivals. I love America already. There's some fantastic names for football clubs in here. I'm particularly looking forward to playing the GPS Omens, which I assume is just a bunch of people with sat-navs, which is going to be brilliant. Merrimack Valley. I want to move to America. This is brilliant. Season preview-wise, the season preview is broken. Can I remind everybody, the media prediction is actually a 22nd place finish. I have tested and tested again to make sure we have the lowest reputation in the entire league. We do. This is just broken. It puts player, manager, clubs always at the top of this for some reason. Certainly when you first start out, always with those odds as well. So it's broken. Don't read too much into this. I'm not expecting a promotion this year. We do have two of the best players in the division, though. They're not the two best, but Panico and Fletcher. In fact, Panico is the third best player in the division, but doesn't get into the Dream 11. We have got, however, Carrillo is in there and also Fletcher, who we looked at before as the striker. So they're the kind of players we're going to be looking to build this team around. And I did mention before about stadiums as well. We're the only one at this level who has a stadium. We've tested this database a lot. They all just ground share and will build grounds of their own over the next few years, which seemed like the most sensible way to do it, rather than just replicating and giving everybody exactly the same stadium. Just let them work out based on what size stadium they need. So that's us in the Eastern League. To show you how the rest of the structure works, if you want to play along with this league structure, it's based on the American 10-tier database that FM Digi's put on the Steam Workshop. So you can go on there and just download the base version of it if you just want the base version, or you can wait a little while and the Bourne version will be out for you as well. So at our level, tier 10, you've got all of these leagues: the Atlantic League, California League, the Eastern League, which is the one that we're in, Florida State, Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, Northwestern, the Panhandle League, the Southern California League, the Southern League, the Southwestern League, and the Texas League. It avoids the big thing I wanted to avoid in playing a US database, and that was having ridiculously unrealistic travel from going from one side of the country to the other in the 10th tier. So all the teams in our league are fairly local to us. Promotion is then to one of these leagues. You can see it starts to narrow down in the pyramid as it goes up. So in tier 9, there's the Atlantic National, the Central National, the Mountain National, Pacific National, Southern National, and Valley National leagues. And then once you get above those, we start to get into a more traditional structure. So you've got the Western Premier League, Southern Premier League, Central Premier League, and Northern Premier League. And then you're into the US National League Division 2, US National League Division 1, the National League Premier, United States League 2, United States League 1, United States Championship, and the United States Premier League, which is the teams you should recognize from the MLS if you follow the MLS. So all the MLS teams are in here. They've just been distributed within the league structure. So I don't know if there's any existing MLS teams who've been put down in the championship. I'm not an MLS expert, but I'm sure some of you are and can look at that and say, so-and-so are in the wrong league. They should be in the Premier League. Well, they might get promoted then. Why have we got Charlotte and Charlotte FC? That seems unnecessary. But that is the structure. That is the team. Welcome to Bourne in the USA. Like I say, the next part of this series, which hopefully will be out later on today, if you've left a nice big thumbs up on the video, there's a good chance it'll be later on today. The next part will be me bringing in some players, showing you the actual system that we're going to be using, and maybe even playing a game or two, depending on how soon the season starts. How soon does the season start? We might even play a game tomorrow, either tomorrow or later today. Who knows? It's down to you. And we'll see how we get on. I think this is going to be a hard one, boys and girls. You've been moaning FM21 is too easy. If we go back-to-back promotions through this, I am just like the greatest Football Manager player in history, because I'm looking at this thinking, this is going to be tricky. And I imagine it probably is going to be. Hopefully I'll see you again in an hour or two, boys and girls, with part 2 of this series. But regardless, if you have enjoyed it, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on the video. If you're new to the channel or for some reason you've been around for ages but still haven't subscribed, a subscribe would go down very nicely. We're very close to 100,000 subscribers on the channel now, so I'd appreciate an extra push over the finish line. And thank you very much for watching.